Who's still working on their comic strip?
Are you almost done?
Me, Monita, and Sarah.
Just do the abridged version.
So just four.
Let's do the Cliff Notes version.
Just draw half of it and act the last half.
Or 1 minute stand up, right?
If you don't finish in 5 minutes, you're doing 1 minute stand up.
I think that'd be awesome. Really bad or really bad.
Pepper, my latest behind you.
Just say my surname.
I know the other one.
Okay, I guess we're good. Okay, everyone. Thank you for coming to the celebration of Mr. H's life and legacy.
Oh, snap.
But since we all know that Mr. H is a big comic book geek, he had us all draw comic strips. So I guess we're just gonna go one by one. I guess I'll just hand it to you if you recognize your comic. And we're just all gonna share it to the whole room. Your story, the story that you drew out. So if it's not funny, then Mr. H will just record it and laugh at it later. So who's this?
Oh wait, right now? Do I have to?
You have to.
Here.
In front of the microphone.
Oh, thank you. Pink.
Really? Are you looking? So this is me. So my Japan teammates, they kind of know. I have bad luck with sliding glass doors. This is me in America. I was trying to go through a door and it almost closed on me, but it didn't close on me. But this is me in Osaka University and I was trying to get in. But you know, in Japan, it's not automatic. So I was just walking through thinking it's going to be automatic. Literally, like in front of my face, it just closed. You have to press it. I didn't know that. So it just like closed in my face. But this one was really bad. There were a lot of people. It was like a sushi place. And I was walking through. The door was open. I could have sworn it was open. And as I walked through it, it closed on me. And it made this like really huge like crash, bang sound. And everyone that was waiting in that area like looked back at me. And like people kind of like laughed at me and stuff. So this one is me. Like now, when I walk through sliding glass doors, I'm always kind of like. Everything.
Oh, thank you. Hesitate.
Scott and Yeji.
This is just an inside joke between Scott. So we're sharing it with you all now. Okay, so the first scene is we're at church and we're listening to Pastor Dave's sermon. So you see Mr. H over here, his hair. And, Pastor David giving a sermon, and we didn't have a joke, so we just wrote insert joke. Whichever Pastor Dave's jokes you want to put in there, and then there's a pause. Dave repeats his joke, and there's a laughing hand.
Every time he tells a joke, we look back at you.
I didn't realize my. Yeah, it's because it's loud.
So, I was at a sushi restaurant. It's not a bad, it was just a weird date. So, I was like, oh, can we get some water or something? And then, you know, the date, he like tries to get the waiter's attention, but he's kind of walking away. He's like, oh, meow, meow. And then,
Awesome.
we were in his car, and he was trying to change lanes, but like, I was like, watch out for the car, because, you know, there was a car right next to him, and then he like, gets really nervous, and then he just like, oh, meow, meow. And then I'm thinking like, is he a cat?
Wait, this is true? Who is this guy? Like Neon? Ah.
Mine's about how when I was little, my brother used to like putting his finger on my belly button, and that's when he used to like fall asleep. And he did it to my mom and my grandma, and then I was like the next victim. I'll just read it. Most children have their security blankets that become ragged and worn over time. My brother had his security belly button. My brother's love was infectious, literally, and I drew like a normal belly button and then my own, and I had like rashes when I was little. And then the last one is old, sad-looking blankets can be tossed out once you outgrow them, but sad, worn-out belly buttons are permanent. And I drew a picture of like me and my friends at the beach, and they're all wearing like two-piece like swimsuits, and I'm wearing a one-piece. But that's not true. I'm okay now.
Thank you.
This is this one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So my age is attractive. When I heard the uncool moment, this is what came to mind. So this is this happened when I was comfortable with H. And so the first cell was me driving and H's long hair. So it's like, H, how are you doing? Like, and second cell was H responding. And it's good, Jay. It's like, so tell me about you, Jay. It's like, what are you about? And my response, this happened was, John, I'm kind of a private guy.
It's like shut down.
And the last cell was crickets.
Bad date number 55.
Number 55.
Oh, that was mine.
Oh. 55? Homeboy gets around, dude.
Alright, it wasn't really bad day number 55. I haven't 55 dates.
Hey, we don't know that.
55 bad dates. I just made up a number. I think I shared it with H before in our Navajo mission trip, because he wanted to know everyone's story. So the first frame was just me trying online dating. This was a long time ago, and there was this girl that looked fine online. And it was in this little box I just wrote. It was like kind of a text message that I put, not text message, but text of what I said. I said, okay, let's meet at such and such a time, and then her is like, okay, see you then. Then me with a little smiley face. So here I am in my second frame, driving to all the way out to Pomona, to this sushi house, and I think she was there, but I didn't recognize her. So I said, where is she? So anyway, I'm in the same frame, like right in front of the sushi house, and I have this like face of her as like a vampire face. But she didn't look that bad, but I just couldn't recognize her. And she was totally different from like what I saw online. So that's why I put that kind of face. So yeah, and then that kind of just like, so I said, oh, nice to meet you. I couldn't recognize you from afar. And then my last frame was, us sitting in the sushi booth, and then she said, so what do you like to do for your free time? and my last frame, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? No, but that's that was one story that I shared with H in our trip. Fun.
I might just tell the story because apologize, the drawing is really weak. And yeah, so I'm just gonna narrate it. So basically, you know, I was gonna have to tell the story, but it's about in high school I had this crush on this girl. So it starts off in the 8th grade. I kind of liked her before then, but because I went to a school that actually had like the junior high and the high school combined, I kind of knew her for a long time. But anyway, it happened in the 8th grade in Mr. Wining's class, and he was like this history teacher, American history teacher, and then we're watching some kind of like movie, probably like the Civil War, I think, I forget, it was Gettysburg or something like that. And everybody's falling asleep, including me. And I remember like it was pretty dark, because like, you know, everybody turns off the lights to watch the movie and everything. So all the kids kind of just like rearrange their seats and they watch wherever they want to just get a better view. And there was a chair, like, you know, those desks that, you know what I'm talking about, they're all attached. And so the one in front of me was empty. I just had my head down. And I heard like shuffling and somebody sits down, you know, it's like, oh, no big deal. And I heard some like, you know, girl whispering, it's like, "Psst, hey, Ray," you know, and I go, oh, you know, I know that voice. Yeah. Anyway, I look up nervously, of course, because, you know, I was really awkward back then, still am. But I looked up and sure enough, it's Erin, you know, and this girl that I liked. So I'm like sweating already. I'm going, oh yeah, what's up, you know? And she's like, hey, Ray, so did you, are you asking anyone to the 8th grade social? And at that moment, you know, your heart stops. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. But it's like, no, I'm just trying to play it cool. No, why not? Why, you know? Do you want to go or something? And then she was like, no, I was just wondering if you'd like to go. I was like, oh, I'd love to go. And then she was going like, yeah, of course. She goes, you want to go with Jessica? I'm like, oh. Well, of course I want to go with Jessica. Thanks, Ray. You're the best. And that's it. She just gets up and she goes away. She goes, bye. And it's like, bye. I love you. Bye. But, oh my goodness. And this is all true. So I ended up going to the 8th grade social with Jessica. I had a good time. You fast forward 4 years later, and I've never had the guts to, you know, talk to her. But for some reason, she ended up having my cell phone number. So I'm driving along in my little Integra, and I'm a senior now, and then she's calling me. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? It's like, yeah, can you, I need to talk to you. Can you come over here right now? And it was in Cerritos, and so I drove over to this little like Korean cafe thing, and a bunch of her friends and whatever, her little clique was, they're all like just chilling there. So I walk inside, and then she's like, yeah, did you ask anyone to the prom? Oh. And, you know, she was like learning my lesson, right? But yeah, long story short, basically wanted Susan out, this other girl who was her best friend, so that's my story. Awesome.
Okay, so my story is about me and my guy cousin. So I have a cousin who's like 4 months apart from me, so we were like always really close when we were growing up. So like we were about like 7, but we were like fighting with each other, and he said something like really low, and I got really mad at him, so I started chasing him. But we were on the upstairs level of his house, and his side of the story, he says I pushed him down the stairs. But to my recollection, he tripped and fell down the stairs. But we ended up getting in like really big trouble about it, and so like his older sister actually was like, oh, why did you push me down the stairs? And so I started crying, and I was like, because you hurt my feelings. And that was the only excuse I could come up with, because it was like, I think I really did push him, but yeah, so that's it.
Scary.
Oh, Simi left.
Oh, sweet. Oh, she wasn't there then.
Yeah, she wasn't there. Okay.
Sorry, Justin.
So I timed mine number 2, and then so I'm here in a bathroom stall. It says El Baño. It says on a cold Oaxacan night, and I'm kind of just sitting there like confused because, well, as you can see, there's no more toilet paper. So I'm calling out on the toilets. And outside, I'm sure it must have sounded something like, is anyone out there? And I didn't. So no one came to me. So I looked towards. You can't. I looked towards the wastebasket. You can't flush toilet paper down the toilet in hot gun because it won't flush. So I looked down and I'm reaching for toilet paper. You don't see it, but I actually made sure that it was folded over. Do what you gotta do, Justin. Thanks. And I'm happy. I'm pretty happy. Happier than I was before. And I'm all clean.
Jesse got really sick afterwards.
No, I was really sick during that.
He's like green.
I was really bad.
Who's the man's walking alone in the woods?
Oh, that's fine.
Robert. Oh, okay. Is this part of it?
So, I couldn't think of anything personal to share, so I just thought of an anecdote that I heard some years ago. Try to condense it, but it came out in like 13 frames. Anyways, wow. So
Panels.
So the first picture, the caption says, "An atheist man is walking alone in the woods." You know that one? You see the guys in the woods, there's a bird flying around, mountain in the background. Next frame, caption says, he's enjoying life and how proud man is the ultimate species. And he says to himself, man is the center of all things. I love nature. And it shows trees, mountains, he's walking around, so everything's cool. On the third frame, it says, a bear comes out of the woods, or a bear comes out of nowhere. And this is the best I can draw a bear. And he just says growl, and the guy goes, yikes. Next frame, so the bear is chasing him. And the bear says, I'm hungry. And the guy says, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. The next frame, it says, as the bear is about to strike, the man yells, the guy says, oh God, help me. And then, because I didn't want to draw so much, I just started writing. And then it says, time freezes, the bear is frozen, the bird is frozen in place, in midair, the stream is absolutely still. Then the sky opens up, and the man hears a voice. And the next caption is a cloud with a little hole in the cloud, and it says, my child, you have ignored my existence all these years. How come you now acknowledge me? And next frame, you see the guy on his knees talking to the voice up there, and he says, I'm so sorry I ignored you. I don't want to die. If you make this bear a Christian bear, I promise to believe you. And then the next frame, I just wrote down, so the voice says, I shall make it so. And then everything comes back to full motion. The bird is flying, water is moving. And the bear is still chasing him. So you see the bear is still chasing after the guy. He finds a tall tree, climbs up. The caption says, the man finds a tree and climbs up, and then he says, and you see the guy saying, God, I thought you said that you'd make this bear a Christian bear if I started believing in you. And God says, my son, I will never forsake you. If you look down below, you will see that I have done what you have asked. And then the captain says, then the man looks down and to his amazement, sees the bear on his knees. You see the guy up here, you see the bear on his knees, praying, and the bear says, Lord, please bless this food I'm about to receive.
Wow. Almost felt like a sermon, like you made your way through.
Time for the benediction. Whose is this one? In the bathroom.
Oh, it's mine. I couldn't really think of anything, so it's a random story. Actually, Rosa gave me this story about when I was teaching a class once, but yeah, I couldn't draw it, so I came up with this. It's really boring. So it's me and my friend walking down the street, and she said, do you like my new perm? And it's like, really nice and stuff. And I said, oh, it looks great. you have so much hair. And then we see a bird like coming towards us. Next thing I know, it pooped on her head. And she's like, oh no, my hair. And I said, ah ha ha ha. Now we're in the bathroom, in the bathtub, and she's washing her hair. And she's saying, it will come out. And I'm waiting with my towel. And then when she's done, her hair has doubled in size. It's dripping with water. That's it.
Who's the 2 a.m. one?
Jamal, you go to the restroom.
DJ John Wong.
Okay, this is so my sister told me wrote this. This is when I was in grad school, credential. You know how you have to get people's phone number to get assignments and be able to like ask them at nighttime. So there's one girl. We changed phone numbers, but she would call me at like random times in the night. And then I guess one night it's 2 a.m. and we had school the next morning. She calls and asks for the assignment. So I need to know what's for. So I say hello. I need to know what's for homework. And then I say, oh, it's to read. I don't know, blah blah blah. And answer the questions at the end. Okay. Cool, how was class? So she's still asking questions. I just wanted to give her what the assignment was and then hang up, right? So I was like, it's kind of late. Can we talk later, tomorrow? Okay, sure, see you later. And then it's just me with thought bubble. Why did I answer the phone?
My comment.
So I guess this could go under the category of a very uncool moment. And this is my first encounter with Mr. H. So this is at Rose's house, at Rose's place, and then there's always a lot of socializing going near her counter where there's the drinks and there's her fireplace.
That's where the calendar
And
is.
so this is on his shirt. It says Mr. Hobo Chic. Says, hi, I'm H. And I go, oh, hi, I'm Hannah. Like, I go to UCLA because during that time I was still in college. And he goes, oh, so what are you studying? And I said, oh, I'm actually studying history, but I want to go to med school, and I really enjoy community medicine. And I was trying to, like, explain to him, why I want to go to med school and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, actually, I don't really care about the medicine part. I care more about the history part. And so that's how we met.
I'll just read this. Okay, so my mom rarely let me miss school whenever I was sick. I was one of those kids that would go and get the other kids and inevitably the teacher sick. But there was this one time, right? I told my mom I thought I was sick. Of course, I ended up in the car heading for school. But as soon as we got pulled out of the driveway, and then this is a picture of me in the back seat. And I remember feeling slightly. Oh, sorry. Yes, I remember feeling a vindictive satisfaction. And I told you I was sick, right? But to my mom's credit, she nursed me through, without complaint, through 103-degree fever and hallucinations.
Oh, wow.
And that was how I got into school.